everyone, Andrew here for I Dream of Crafting. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make this awesome little duct tape bag. It's about 7 inches tall and the strap is about a foot, so 12 inches. I'm actually making 3 of these. This is one of 3. I will show you the second one that I'm making as the tutorial, and then I will show you the third one that I make. I'm actually making these for my older brother's fiance. She wants 3 little bags for her 3 little, one nephew and 2 nieces. So this is for her nephew. He likes Mickey Mouse. And the inside and the straps are black. So they're very cute. I love them. Let me put that over there. And so, the supplies you will need for these cute little bags. Of course, you will need duct tape, at least 2. For these bags, as you can see, I'm going to be using, there we go, Anna and Elsa from Frozen, since those are her niece's favorite movie, which honestly, who doesn't like Frozen? So, I'm actually using 3 different tapes. The outside's going to be Anna and Elsa, the inside's going to be purple of this one, and then the third one will be Anna and Elsa and this light blue. And then both of them, the straps, will be this snowflake, there we go, snowflake pattern for the straps. I thought that was very appropriate. So of course you'll need duct tape, you will need a cutting board, you might need scissors, an X-Acto knife for sure. And that is all you'll need. Oh, and a ruler. Definitely a ruler. So, let's get started. Alright, so, for the start of the bag, first you have to figure out how big you want your bag to be. So, the bags I am making, they are going to be about 7 inches tall and about 6 or 7 inches wide. So, well, actually they are about 7 inches wide. So, you want to, whatever you want your height to be, so mine is 7 inches, you want to double that so that you can have room to fold them together. These bags are going to be just one big sheet of duct tape fabric that we fold over. So, if you're going to make a mini bag like I am, since her since her nephew and nieces are about 5 years old, they're, of course their bags are going to be, you know, pint size because they are pint sized. So, I'm making little bags for them, and so if you want to make one this size, you want 4 strips of tape that are 14 inches long, and you're going to take it up to the 7-inch mark on your cutting board. If you want your bag bigger, that is completely fine, of course. All you want to do is, you know, make your bag bigger. If you want it, you know, if you want it 8 inches long, then you want to make a sheet that is 16 inches long, so you have the excess to fold up. So, I'm going to cut this. And then I'm just going to move it down to the, you know, the 2-inch mark so I can get an accurate measurement. Alright. Now I need 3 more strips. We're going to overlap by at most 1/4 inch. And if you need a 5th strip to make it to 7 inches, you know, that's fine. But I find I can do it with 4 strips of tape, and the seams are all about 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, the overlap is all about 1/4 inch. So there is one side of our fabric. It is, once again, it's 14 inches long by 7 inches wide. Now you're going to take your inside tape, and of course you can make this all one color if you would want, you know, the inside and the outside. But I'm gonna be using an inside color for this, which will also be the trim color. So you want the same amount. You want 4 strips of tape that are 14 inches long. Scratch that. You want four pieces of tape that are 15 inches long. We want a 1/2 inch on either side of our fabric so that we can fold it over and make a really nice trim here on the top and bottom. Do not trim your long sides though, because that makes it really difficult to assemble the bag later. So I'm going to use this area up here, probably flip the board around and cut out and place my 4 strips that are 15 inches long. So very carefully rip up your piece of one-sided fabric here, flip it over so that it's sticky side up. I like to line it up on inch lines so I know I'm getting accurate measurements. Once again, if your tape is up, like bulging, which you know does happen when you take it off the board, just run the back of your nail along the edges to make them lie flat. Alright, then you're going to take a piece of tape here that is 15 inches long. Now, as I said before, do not leave space down here for a border. That'll just screw it up for assembling it later. It will make the sides really thick. Oops. Sorry, just trying to line this up. There we go. Alright, but you do want to leave a 1/2 inch border on, you know, overlap on each side. So just line up the bottom just line up the bottoms and make sure you're leaving about about a 1/2 inch on either side. Alright, and if you don't get it perfect, it's, you know, not cause for alarm. You can always trim with your scissors, which you will have to do because it's really hard to get it perfect. So just overlap by at most 1/4 inch, but keeping that 1/2 inch on either side. Okay. Alright, now I'm just going to cut out 2 more pieces and lay them down just like these two. Alright, now that you have your fabric, we're going to rip it up. And we're going to clean up these edges just a little bit. You don't want to trim too much because you want your trim on both sides to be pretty much even. So we're just taking off a little bit. Then it's just a simple process of folding this trim up. And that's all it is, it's just trim. Alright. Now if you have any overlap, just trim it off. You don't have to worry too much about it though, because we're going to be connecting these sides and they're going to be covered with tape. But the trim will not be touched after this point. So if you have any sticky of the trim showing, you just want to cut that off. Okay. So you're left with this. So this is our inside. So I would like to take this time to thank Sophie at sophie-world.com. I learned the technique I'm going to be showing you from her videos. One video in particular, I will put a link to it in the description below so you can go see. It's very, very cute. But I loved this technique of hers, and this is the technique I'm going to be showing you. It's a lot easier than trying to clear tape the inside of the bag. So this is kind of, it's really cool. So what you want to do is you want to line up the top of your bag and just crease. You don't need to crease the whole thing. You just need to crease these outer edges so you can tell where it will fold. Then put that aside for a moment. Get your inside color again. And we're going to cut a piece of duct tape that is the same size as your sides. So this is 7 inches. Came out perfectly, exactly how I wanted it to. So we're going to cut out one strip of tape that is 7 inches long. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut this into 2 1/2-inch strips. Okay, let's just put this aside. Alright, now as you may have noticed when I was flipping the board around, I have these 6 little tiny strips of duct tape. These are little holders that we will be using to help us put the bag together. So you will need those. I use 6, you can get away with 4. I think 6 is just a little bit easier to work with. So we're going to take one of our 1/2-inch strips here, and we're going to fold it so that the sticky side is showing. Now you want this rounded sticky edge facing out. So I will do this side so you can see towards you. So you want, at the end of the day, you want the sticky like this, but closer to the edge. So the easiest way I have found to do this is take your bag, line it up on a line, and place this tape just where your crease is to the end of the bag, and take it down a quarter so that this sticky is on the quarter line underneath your bag. Okay, now you can see I have some overlap here, so I'm just going to cut this off very carefully so that I do not cut the bag underneath. We got some fibers here that don't want to let go. Alright, so you can leave a little bit, you know, like 1/8 of an inch up there. Then what you want to do, rip this up and fold this back until you see the edge of your bag. Then you're going to take your little strips of tape here, do it this way. There we go. Okay, you're going to take your little strips of tape here, and you're going to place them just on the very, very edge of the tape, of the sticky. You don't want to completely get them on the sticky because we will be taking these off once the bag is completed. So don't completely stick them on, like, you know, way over here. Just ever so lightly place them. This is just holding back this sticky so that it will be ready to connect with the bag. Okay, so what you should have is something, there we go, something like this. This is the edge of the bag, and this is holding it back. So we're just going to do the same exact thing on the other side. I'll do it again for you. So once again, line it up on a line. Find where your crease is and place your tape so that it's 1/4 of an inch above. Cut it off if it is too high. So you don't want it, you know, right up against the trim, because you don't want any sticky up there. Then just fold it back until you just start seeing the edge of the bag, and then attach your little pieces of tape here. And don't put them on too much, because you want them to come off pretty easily when you pull on them. All right, so there are your sides. Now, before we go any further, you want to get set up here. So, as I stated, the side of your bag is 7 inches. So you want 2 strips of your trim color. You want 2 strips that are 7 inches long. Alright, so 2 strips that are 7 inches long. Move these aside for the moment. Uh-oh, that was my X-Acto knife. Alright, now bring this back. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold this up and just match up your top again, and then smooth this down on top of that sticky tape. Once again, line up the top and then smooth it down. So now you have a little bit of sticky here and a little bit of sticky here. And we're going to cover that up with our tape that we just cut. So you want to go, you can go as little as 1/4 of an inch to seal this. I like a little bit more tape to seal, so I go 1/2 inch. And you don't, just stay below your trim there. You could go, if your bag is 7 inches, you could go 8 inches and then, wrap it around. But it doesn't really matter because we're going to be going around again with some tape for the bottom. So I'm just going to cut that off where it meets. And then I'm going to measure here because I'm a little bit over, obviously, because this is a big, this is a almost 2-inch piece of tape. And I want the trim to roughly be the same on either side. So I'm going to take off about 1/2 inch. You can measure though to see how much, your bag may vary. And then just fold it over. And you can run your finger down the edge just to kind of adhere that to that sticky part. You can put this off to the side, but you won't need that tape anymore for this project anymore. So once again, do the exact same thing on the other side. And get it as tight as you can. And then you can run your finger along there just to adhere it. And that is your sealed bag. Put that up there. Alright, so if you open this up, you can see that these don't open, and that's because we have that black tape in there. I hope you can see that black tape. There we go. So we have that black tape in there. So all you're going to do is you're going to reach in here, and you're going to, come on, you're going to pull up this black tape, and all you should have to do is pull it, and it should come right off. And then just seal this down. You're going to do that on all 6 of your tabs here. The ones at the very, very bottom of the bag, you definitely want those to be not adhered to the sticky, very much, because those are the hardest ones to get out. Alright, and there you go. There is a bag with no sticky and no clear tape. So I'm going to put my little tabs back up here. I need them one more time for the third bag I have to make. So, alright. So, now at this point we are going to add our straps. I have pre-made my straps. I will leave a link to a video that you can, if you don't know how to make these straps, it's just a double-sided duct tape strip, but I will leave it's the same way that you make a lanyard, so I will leave a video to my tutorial on lanyards, and you can do that. So just make your strip. However long you want your strips, your handles to be, double it. So I want these strips, so when they're inside the bag, like so, I want this whole piece from, there we go. I want this whole piece from this point to the top of the bag. I want that to be about 1 foot. So a foot is 12 inches, so I doubled it. So these strips are 24 inches long. As you can see, my board is 18 and they hang off a little bit. So yes, if you wanted your handles to be 7 inches, then you would make a strip that is 14 inches, and then you just fold them over. So what you need now is your inside color. Now you can make your strips out of any tape you want. You could use your secondary color, you can use your outside color, however you want to do it. I decided to use this because it's snowflakes and this is frozen, and I thought it would be really cute. So I thought the girls would really, at least I hope the girls think it's cute to have straps, snowflake straps on a frozen bag. So what you want is now a piece of tape. I'm gonna just use this strip here, and you want about 1 inch. So this is about 1 inch wide, so I'm going to cut at 2-inch intervals here, so that you have a strip about like that. Use your best estimation. So you want about 1 inch wide and 2 inches long. And then how to do this is you want your seam to face you. So if you can see that, that's where my seam is. That's where I folded it over. This is nice and smooth. This is a seam. So have your seam facing you. Place the edge of your seam on a line, and then place your tape about a ½ inch up on that strap. And you'll have anywhere from a ½ inch to 3/4 inch hanging off. And you just do that on the other side. Make sure your seam is facing up. And then place your tape about a ½ inch up, and make sure you have it, centered, so you have this, about a ½ inch on either side. Then we're going to take our bag. Oh, you know what? I forgot something. So you could do this, and then you could just attach your handles like this. I'll just show you. This is one way you could make the bag. So you could just attach your handles on the inside of the bag just like this, and just like this on the same side. And there you go. And then you would just do the same thing with this side, and you'd attach it opposite, just like this and just like this, and then you would have 2 handles. I'm making mine a little bit different though, and I completely forgot until this exact moment. So I'm going to show you, thanks to Sophie, how to make the bag pop open a little bit. So we are going to use, I'm going to use this scrap of tape right here. You just need, 2 little strips of tape. Not too long, it doesn't really matter, because they're not going to be seen after this point. So what you want to do is you want to put your hand inside the bag all the way to the bottom corner, and you want to flatten this corner, and then fold it over. Now the further you go in, the more open your bag is going to pop open, but the less room you're going to have on the inside. So I only go about an inch or so. And then once you have it folded over, you can take your piece of tape and secure it. My hand is still inside the bag so that I can press this tape against my hand. That's my finger right there on the inside of the bag. Then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to get this tape ready. Try and make them even on each side so that one isn't, more folded in than the other. Okay, and then that keeps the bag open a little bit. Let me pull this up just a little bit. There we go. So let me show you that one more time just in case the camera didn't catch that. Now that the camera's a little bit up, so I'll show you on this side. So your bag is like this, it's flat. And then, so I'm going to put my hand inside, my fingers in the corner. I'm going to flatten it and fold it back. I'm going to take a little piece of tape, place it on this corner here, fold it over, and adhere it. And there you go. Make sure your bag, and then you can take your hand and then push into these corners. There we go. Can you see the corners of your bag? Use a smaller instrument here. So these corners right here and right here, you just want to push against those against the board so that it kind of forms a rectangle down there, so that the bag can kind of somewhat stand, and that it's rounded. You want it to be rounded, just like a purse, Alright, now we will go back. I'm sorry, no. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're at this point. The straps are the absolute last thing you want to do. So we want to obviously cover this up. because this would come off, you know, and it just doesn't look good. So this is a 7 by 7 inch bag, so I'm going to cut a strip of tape that is about 20 to 24 inches long, and I know it sounds like a lot of tape, but you want the whole thing to go all the way around your bag to cover this up. But you don't want to just put a strip of tape from here to here, here to here, there we go, because that it will come up really easily, because this is a curved surface and tape does not like curved surfaces. So you're gonna have, you know, some tape that's coming up and this will rip right off. I have tried just to put tape from here to here and it comes off. So what I do is I have a long strip of tape and I start from the inside of the bag and I go all the way around and then back inside the bag. So it's starting and ending inside the bag, which I found is the most secure way of doing it. So I'm going to cut a piece of tape here. Okay, now you don't want this whole, you know, 2 inches of 1.88 inches is a bit wide for this bag. So you want at least an inch, a little bit more. I take just my ruler here, which the ruler is about 1.25 inches about. So it's a little bit more than 1 inch. And I just lined the bottom of my ruler up with the bottom of the tape. And then I just cut across. So, you know, you can save all your scraps if you would like. And then we're going to rip this up. And then place it back down and finish cutting. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this tape, and I found it's easier if I lay my tape like this. Since I'm right-handed, I lay my tape going away from me, behind me, and then have it in my right hand. I'm going to take my bag, and I want at least 1 inch of tape on the inside. At least 1 inch. So I'm going to take this bag, I'm going to flatten it against the board. I'm going to take my tape and very carefully, so I don't get any of this stuck to itself, I'm going to place it inside the bag. Then I'm going to pull this up. There we go. And ideally you want this tape to go along the seam you already have. So I'm a little bit off. So I'm going to take this out from inside the bag and try again. You could also start it on the seam and then just make sure you leave enough for yourself here. There we go. Which I might do because this is giving me problems right now. There we go. So I'm going to leave myself some space up there. I'm going to line this up as best as I can. Alright, and I'm going to smooth it down. Fold this over and put it inside the bag. that just adds to the stability of the bag as well. Try not to get any creases if you can help it. Then we're going to take this and we're going to wrap it under the bag where those two pieces of tape are. My hand is now inside the bag and I'm using that to push against the tape to adhere it to the bag. I'm gonna rip it up a little bit because the bag is bulging inside the bag, or on the bottom I mean. So there we go, nice and smooth on the inside. And then this is kind of the easiest part. Kind of try and make it as straight as possible. Okay. And then smooth it against the sides again on this side and fold it into your bag. Like that. So you have this whole thing now covered and you have a nice bottom piece now so that those two little pieces of tape are not going to come off the bag. So now you take your two straps and you take your two little pieces of tape, and just as I said before I realized that I was doing it wrong, once again you just want to put the tape on in the middle of your strap and about 1/2 inch up. Make sure your seams are facing you. It's very easy to get your strap twisted. Then you're going to take your bag and you're going to place this inside the bag about 1 inch down. You don't want it too close to the top of the bag. So it's about a 1/2 inch actually. And then put the other side, make sure your strap isn't twisted. If it is, just take one off and make sure it's straight again. And there is one handle. So we're going to take another piece here. One, two. I'm going to take this little piece here. I'm not going to waste time or tape cutting this. Once again, make sure your seams are facing you. They're facing up. Place it about 1/2 inch up and repeat. Now you want to flip the bag over and try and get them to match the other straps on the other side, so one is not lower or higher than the other. And there you go. Alright, so that is the end of our tutorial. Here is our bag. It is very cute. I think my brother's fiance's nieces and nephews will really like these. These are adorable, and I love how the strap came out with the bag. I didn't think it would look, because this is kind of a blue and this is purple, but it came out really, really well. I'm really happy with it. So, if you like this tutorial, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any question, comments, or requests, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will get to you as soon as I can. And I hope to see you in the next video.